the whole street to ourselves. Not sure what location this is for us. You know what I mean? No houses for at least 100 yards. Houses over there. In front of the house, always get parking. MashaAllah. System was. Yeah. I'm not going to play a track today, I don't think. Because everything's been disconnected and moved around. And what I wanted to talk about was fasting. Fasting is like really difficult at the beginning. When you first start fasting, it's like anything new you do, the initial pain you have to go through is quite a lot. It's a bit of a shock to the system not to eat or drink anything or pass anything into your mouth or anything, for about for the whole day, as the fast is for. At the start of the day, at the break of dawn, before the break of dawn, you have some food. Some people like to eat a lot of food so that they don't feel hungry throughout the day, but I don't think that would affect it. I think eating moderately is probably best, because you actually feel as if you're fasting instead of just circumventing the fast and finding excuses. Hello? She can't speak English. Class was calling. Car insurance, yeah? Car insurance. Well, she was okay. I need to say now the owner, date of birth, the owner.
My name is Bilkis Akhtar. 15 12 51. Okay. You talk to my son, okay?
Hello? Perhaps you're speaking to the wrong person, because basically I don't pay my mum's insurance. It's my sister pays it, and you need to speak to her, because she'll be the one who can tell you which product she wants or not. I can't make that decision on her behalf. Cheers, bye.
What's wrong with you?
I'm product based on.
Yeah?
I'm kid based on.
Oh,
Sales call. Man. People trying to make quick sales. Selling products. Fasting is good. Really good. Fasting is best for you. The Quran tells us fasting is best for you if you're only new. It's like anything. It's like in some cases you're supposed to fast for 2 months. You have to fast for 2 months if you break an oath or for some other reasons of violate breaking a commandment or something, and you're either supposed to feed 60 poor people or free a slave or fast for 2 consecutive months. So fasting is good for you. I could actually live on that basis, inshallah, of eating twice a day, rather than eat all the way through the day and be constantly in need of the toilet, as is the case when I'm not fasting. Because with this medication that I'm taking, it's not as if my body changes to becoming animalistic and becoming like a meat eater or something, some sort. And on top of that, I'm like putting on weight, excess weight. I feel ugly, and everyone keeps telling me it's the food I'm eating, the sort of food I'm eating, saying, oh, it's the junk food you're eating. And I'm like, I think the medication affects my metabolism and makes me feel as if I'm a pregnant woman. Big stomach, inflated stomach, and putting on fat everywhere, and losing your shape, and losing your confidence as well. But mashallah, I've been trying to fight for my rights, and unfaithfully I started making these videos thinking that I was being led towards a direction which would lead to ECT or something like that, something like electroconvulsive therapy, how they shock your brain, because the dose was increased, and every time I ate food or I had any kind of food, I feel catatonic. So I thought if that continues, then they're going to shock me, and that's what they do, because they drug you to such a point that your brain becomes brain dead, and then what they do is they shock you to try and revive you and create a new person. Instead, it's a demented person who lacks rationality and reasoning and thinking ability like a normal person. Instead, his life is like a fruitcake, not even a fruitcake, but just like this some crazy person who the establishment and the institutes through their evil observations have managed to achieve, and this is a sort of breakthrough. And anyway, it's one way is to try and stop medication and see if you can gamble on the fact that you're not going to relapse, and which is most likely you will. But you could come off medication if you knew what you were doing. If you knew that when it was the right time to take a bit of medication, or when you can wean yourself off, and all these things, and it's like a laboratory experiment to them. It's an experiment of misery. It's not a quest of happiness. It's an experiment of misery. And they gain, and instead of people finding answers, it's all for the kudos and for the establishment to have observations of the human people in such states of catatonia or overweight, obesity, and man boobs and demented and all the rest of it, and yes, man, and no, you get nothing from prevention. It's like having to wear glasses or spectacles told that you need to wear spectacles, and you wear spectacles, and instead of correcting your problem, what it does is it makes you dependent upon them until you destroy the whole of your eyesight in favour of correcting one small area of your eyesight. So you become dependent on wearing glasses, and then you have to keep going back to opticians for new pairs of glasses. I'm not saying everyone, opticians isn't unnecessary. I'm just saying that to keep the capital flowing, and capital, they have to keep making new breakthroughs in science by claiming there's a certain evil or a certain problem which needs to be addressed. No one knows the future, no one knows what's going to happen tomorrow, or in a year's time, or at the end of the year. Inshallah, God knows everything. God knows the future, and God reveals what He wills to His messengers. But after all I've said this, so no one knows what's going to happen next. You can prevent certain things, but it means that you're just lying. Because when the problem was worse, you never tried to do anything because there's so much money being made due to it. And then when it was caused devastation and the consequences are starting to appear, they start backtracking and trying to prevent it because it leads to chaos. And that's the only thing that stops them from. That's the only mechanisms they've got, capital mechanisms they've got to stop chaos. The abolishment of slave trade was only because it was to stop chaos. Because the slave trade was based on the paymaster's way, which destroys sovereignty by replacing giving. If you give, you will be paid, and if you pay, you will receive, which meant that everything was a payment, and led to stock exchange and extortionate pillage and plunder of natural resources. You see how many slave ships there were? There were like slave ships full of thousands and thousands of people. Why was there a need for such stock amount of people? Where did this idea come from then? Stock market and all this, which led to the colonialism and the exploitation of colonialism. And as far as it went, they were exploiting colonialism and exploiting the paymasters' usurious banking cartel and deceiving the world with a new world order by claiming there could be another God with God, an illusion, which turned out to be illusion, and then they go into denial and say there is no God at the end of it. But what they're trying to reach a conclusion and we're trying to reach a conclusion, the faith in science, the science disbelievers, they go into denial that there is no God, whereas the Muslims, there is no knew beforehand and had faith, there is no God except the one God. One is a mathematical number, one means indivisible, one is indivisible. And God is the omniscient, the omnipotent and the omnipresent, which is a proof of God. Anyway, mashallah, what the Lord has blessed me with, and I've got to the point now, is that instead of arresting the situation myself by coming off medications or doing anything, I had to go through the pain barrier. I had to go through all the pain, 5 years of medication, and continue to take the medication, and then reduce medication, but still on it, and I'm still on it right now. But instead of coming off it, I'm just going to go to the pain and just keep taking it, because I'll beat the pain. I've gone through the pain barrier. It doesn't have no effect on me anymore. All it does is sedate me for the life. It makes me a bit more reserved, so I don't talk to people as much. Don't have much to say.